What's up, Giants fans and Giants haters? I'm Dr. Lou. I'm not really a doctor. Welcome to the official off-season conversation of the 2025 New York Shit Giants. Coming live from my wife's basement. Why is it my wife's basement? Because she decides she's had enough. She gets the house. So I can't call it mine. Now, let's talk about fixing the Giants' offensive line. Big week going on right now with the Senior Bowl. However, free agency comes before the Senior Bowl. So we should be talking free agency first before we start talking draft. There's some exciting things going on at the Senior Bowl, but you can look that shit up. Until we have something like concrete and how it affects the Giants, I don't feel the need to talk about it. We could speculate all day long. Let's speculate about something that the Giants have to address, though, and that is the guard position with Greg Van Roten, native of Long Island, I believe. He is a free agent. The Giants have not re-signed him yet, and that leaves a hole at guard. Now, Ed Valentine at BigBlueView, he has suggested leaving Jermaine Eluemanor at right tackle, which is where he started last year, I believe. And I believe the Giants... No. When they signed Eluemanor, I think there was still hope that Evan Neal would start at right tackle, and Evan Neal had a foot injury or an asshole injury or something. And he could not start at right tackle. Then Eluemanor filled in and stayed there once Neal was healthy. Who knows if that was the plan all along. Brian Dable and Shane are shady as shit. They really are fucking shady when it comes to letting us know what's going on. And it only backfires on them, makes them look like retards. Anyway, so the Giants have a hole at guard. And they could sign Van Roten. He started every single game last year. That is a credit, especially for the Giants who have no reliability when it comes to offensive linemen starting games. When the offensive line was healthy this year or last season, 2024, tremendous improvement over the year before. They also got a new offensive line coach, Carmen Brasillo. And the thing with offensive line is that, philosophically speaking, that line is 5 men playing as one. That is 5 positions on paper. However, the line plays as a cohesive unit, almost as one person. This is why the Giants were able to, when they were winning the Super Bowls, not too long ago, before this dark age, they were doing it with players that weren't high. I mean, there were a couple of high draft picks in there, don't get me wrong, but they had pieces in their line that I'm not even sure. I think Deal was drafted. I'm sure they had an undrafted piece in that line. And the reason why they were able to work the way they were, and I think in the beginning, I don't even think Deal was a starter on the first Super Bowl team. I'm going to have to make notes in this video for all this shit. My point is that the Giants didn't have stars on that offensive line. It was the best offensive line in football. Why? Because it moved as one. Because all the players on that line played like it was one brain. And that's what you need with the offensive line. And that's what they got more of last year. And I think that's what Brasillo brought to them last season. Now, of course, the trick is to have them all healthy. And if they're healthy, then they're developing chemistry. And they're rolling with the momentum of playing together all the fucking time. This is obvious. In that regard, it makes sense to bring back Van Roten. Of course, he's a year older. So is Runyon. Runyon's signed, by the way. And then you automatically have a hole because Eluemanor is now in his contract year. He was only signed for 2 years. So the Giants have things they need to address. Also at center, it's getting to the point where JMS has to show results at the center position, or he's not. First of all, you can't guarantee him a job in 2025. That's the Giants are making a mistake. They guarantee positions to these guys who, I understand you want to develop them. They're in a bad spot. It's like, on one hand, you got to develop them. On the other hand, they can't lose games for you. So JMS at center, John Michael Schmitz, however the fuck you pronounce his name, he's got to have competition. I think Van Roten should be competition for JMS. The problem is that if Van Roten comes to sign, is he signing with a promise? Like the Giants, I don't like the idea of re-signing him and promising him a spot. If he wants to re-sign and compete, knowing that a backup role is going to be almost guaranteed. Number one, he's going to be in the mix at backup. Number two, there's going to be an injury. He's going to get playing time. Number three, he doesn't have to move. He can keep his family here. All that being said, and number four, he won't cost a lot. So re-signing him makes a lot of sense. However, the Giants need to upgrade at the same time. They could do better. So they need competition for the center position. That's number one. Number two is the idea that Eluemanor has to or should stay at right tackle. That's something that I think most people would say that is ideal because that seems to be the most safe and stable option. I don't like that option. And I'll disagree with Ed Valentine at BigBlueView, and I'll disagree with most people at home because what's the point of this channel if I'm not saying shit that you fucking agree with? You can agree with yourself all day long. I'm not here to make you feel smarter. Now, Eluemanor's talent is that he could play every position on that fucking line. It's almost like a superpower of his. You could plug that guy in anywhere, and he's serviceable. If not serviceable, he's better than average. So the first thing the Giants need to do is, A, restructure his contract, because he's already in his contract year. The guy's kind of a leader on the team. He's a captain that doesn't wear the C. If there were alternate captain fucking badges in the NFL, Eluemanor would have an A. So he's got to be restructured to give the Giants more cap space and make sure he's signed for the next 3 years, 2 years guaranteed. Once that's done, Eluemanor has to understand that his value to the team is that he can play anywhere on the line. I think that he might want to. I think his preference is to be fixed at right tackle. However, that doesn't give the Giants an advantage. The Giants' competitive advantage is that he can be a super sub. Of course, he's going to start. I want Eluemanor in Van Roten's spot, personally. I want him at right guard instead of Van Roten. Eluemanor brings the advantage to the Giants that they can plug him in anywhere. So instead of signing a guard and keeping Eluemanor at right tackle, I think the Giants should sign a tackle and put Eluemanor at right guard. And if there's an injury on the offensive line to any of the tackles, Andrew Thomas, who all of a sudden can't stay healthy, or whoever the fuck they sign at right tackle, then that's where Eluemanor goes. All of a sudden, he becomes your secret fucking weapon swing tackle. That's what you need. You need an advantage, and Eluemanor affords you that in that if a tackle goes down, he goes there. So you move Eluemanor inside at right guard. Now, you sign a right tackle, and I'm not going to go down the list. There are lots of good tackles out there waiting to be signed this year. The Giants could go for value, or they could swing for the fences. I'm happy with either one, as long as the tackle who's there is serviceable, stays healthy, and is intelligent. Because these guys have to be one brain on the line. So to have that stability at tackle, that's something that the Giants are missing. The Giants don't. Joe Schoen doesn't have a problem with finding guard depth. He could find guys inside. Give him credit. Runyon and Van Roten are okay. He got those guys for, Runyon he paid for. But Van Roten he really didn't pay that much for. And Zudu, who we know stinks at tackle, has potential as a guard. Zudu can even play center. He's a bright kid. And he's still developing. The Giants have options inside. What they don't have options at are at the tackle position. Why are you making those options thinner by taking your only swing tackle and starting him? It's not smart. Eluemanor has to start inside. Then you sign a tackle who has a history of being reliable and will start fucking 16 games for you. You put him at tackle. That's how you build continuity, and depth. So, no Ed Valentine, who I fucking love. BigBlueView is the best Giants blog out there. You don't you don't stabilize right tackle with Eluemanor. You give the Giants the advantage of having Eluemanor inside ready to become a super sub if he's called into action. And then you go and you sign a tackle where you have no depth. So you don't put yourself in a position where you got to put a Zudo out there on tackle or you got to rely on Evan Neal at tackle. Signing a right tackle allows you to move Neal inside at guard if he's so called upon to do. You have a hole at guard. Neal might be able to fill that one day. You don't fucking know, but you know he can't be a tackle. He's too goddamn slow. So, that's what you need to do with the Giants. Gonna wrap it up short and sweet. You put Eluemanor inside, ready to sub at the tackles if there's an injury. You sign a reliable right tackle. And you have competition for JMS at center. It could be Van Roten starting at center. But this is an easy opportunity for the Giants to get better, and they should take advantage of it. If the idiot in his wife's basement understands what to do, then the guys making millions of dollars should understand what to do. Next episode, perhaps coming up, we'll talk about the Senior Bowl, since that should be concluded. I don't like talking about it while it's going on. And, of course, more free agent talk, because this is going to be a very big thing for the Giants. You plug holes with veterans who could do the job. You don't rely on rookies to win games for you. The draft is for future needs, not present needs. Anyway, until next time, I'm Dr. Lou. I'm not really a doctor. See you in the next one.